Test, test. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome to round 10 of season 15 of Performance Racing League, PRL. I'm your host for tonight, Hoop BK. We have some special action with Midweek Tier 2 for the first time in, I don't know, 3 months or so on the channel. So we're excited to show off the Midweek second tier once more. I believe we showed off the premiere round 1, and that was quite a long time ago with the holiday break thrown in there. So let's see, we are at Jeddah, the streets of the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Many corners. So try to get set up here. Am I dumb? Fastest lap. Tire, none. Alright, cool. Yeah, so very busy. We should actually have a full grid today, or this evening. Waiting on the 20th. Which has been, I believe, kind of a common thing for Midweek Tier 2. Who is furthest ahead? I believe it's Rusty, who's going to be the one that we're going to ride along with. The many corners of Jeddah Corniche circuit. Long front straightaway and then a heavy braking zone into turn 1. May have been a touch deep, but actually gets the car slowed down quite nicely. Winding into turn 1 and 2. Good line out of 2. And then a very tricky turn 3. The apex is blocked off, essentially. We'll have a nickname for that one later. Sector 1 coming to an end here. That high curve. Really got to watch out for, because the car will bottom out along that curb. It'll just go for a ride as we end Sector 1, go into the hairpin at the far end of the course. First, going all the way to the wall here, trying to get back on the power. Continuing to sweep through, and a bit of a braking zone here. Down to, he takes it to 5th. I would go 4th there, I believe. And then another winding section where you actually have DRS open right about now. And another heavier braking zone down to 5th. May have ran a little wide there, but the curb is a bit more forgiving. And back with DRS open as we head towards I believe the 27th and final corner. A long corner here. Not a bad lap from Rusty. Some drivers prefer to go a little bit deeper, take the apex of turn 27 just a bit later to get on the throttle earlier. So his first time of the session is a 129.3. Ruin Rogue in the 130s to follow that up. I said it should be a very busy session. We're expecting a 20th driver to show up in some shape or form. I believe that's Turner in the Ferrari, into the 129s as well. Tar Heel's throwing down a lap, a 133. Glucose, not familiar with him. He may be new, so welcome, Glucose. And Gold Killer 045 puts down a really solid lap, a 129.1. Spark Hishira on the board, a 129.2. As here we go, one of our championship contenders, Eddie Fuentes, is on my screen, but that's Alex F1. Into the 128s, he breaks the barrier. It's Eddie, or Alex, and the other Alex. Where are you? Is Echo here today? Oh yes, there he is at the bottom. So Echo Alex is our championship leader. These two had been scrapping for quite a few rounds. The last couple really. Eddie trying some new things, and it's affected the performance a little bit, and it's allowed Echo to take a bit of a stronger lead in the standings. Don't have the updated ones in front of me right now, but certainly the ones to watch. And Gold Killer certainly appears to be a part of this solid group as well. Spot Up is about to start a lap, or perhaps invalidated previously. He's P3 in the standings, not too far behind. Spot Up always good for a solid top 7, top 6 finish. It keeps him in the championship hunt. Very consistent driver. Let's see. It's Uno Cinco. That was the Pickle Tickle then that went. I might have been looking at, but he may have been coming in anyway. He's in the 130s. A lot of drivers pretty close together. That was CAC Supreme going onto the board, a 131.3. And Tours up to P6 in the Aston Martin. Sorry, P7 now. Into the 129.8. Just behind Disgruntled Muppet. And Uno Cinco jumping to P5. So let's see. Spark coming in. We'll go back to Spot Up then. So he's about to finish up his lap. I felt like he upshifted really early there. But maybe it's just how the timing of when I got there. He'll be in the high 129s. Just beats out Tours for P7 provisionally. Whew. A lot of cars trying to get out of the pit lane. That'll come into effect as wow. We see quite the bunch up actually. Ooh, the pink V-carb. I like it. That'll come into play during the race as well as it kind of just spits you out onto the line. Car's trying to get a good line out of turn 2. Hell, is that turn 3 at that point? This circuit suffers from corner inflation, we'll say. Tar Heel's finding an improvement. We'll go to him real quick. Or actually, he had just found improvement before. My bad. Into the 132s. Okay, 1 second here. Let me see if I can pull up. Gord's stream just to get an idea of what's going on in Tier 1 right now. Rusty pushing here. Just finished the first sector, down half a tenth, but still competitive. We saw his first lap. And immediately to the top of the board, still up there in the top 5. Ooh, finds the wall on exit there. It's that's a tricky corner, probably one of the trickier corners on the track, at least one of the trickier braking zones. There are a lot of blind corners here. Find a little bit of the curb once more, but it is a higher curb, but I feel like a bit more forgiving than some of the other curbs on this track. I missed the split time, and I believe we've lost Tours. I'll try to get it back in here in a second. How's the second lap going to go for Rusty inside of 9 minutes left in the session? Does find some time, 129.1. That moves him to P3 ahead of Spark Hashira. Vinny Sips went onto the board. I see that 130.4. That's good for 11 of 15 drivers. Echo still hasn't come out yet. Here's Pixel Knight. I believe he's also near the... Well, I'm not so sure, but one of the quicker drivers, I feel, and he's at the 130.3, so always puts together good performances. I'm Goofy, 76.74 in the 130.5s, just gets ahead of Ruin Rogue for P13 on the board. 17 of our drivers have put down times. Let's see if Eddie/Alex he's actually finishing up a lap right now. finds half a second, 128.4, so he continues to extend his lead at the front of the field here in qualifying. Over 7/10 now to P2. Gold Killer sitting at second. He's finding improvement through 2 sectors. He might break into the 128s, but it's not going to be enough. Unless he finds a lot of time here in Sector 3 to get close to Alex / Eddie. $128.8, so yes, he joins the club of 128s. And out out there, disgruntled Muppet. Glad to see him racing. Always fun to watch. Was a great teammate for me in the earlier seasons of Midweek. And he's showing quite a bit of pace here in the tier. Sitting at P6 of the field right now. Was that damage? Okay. Cac Supreme has found some time. He's up a second through 2 sectors, so trying to break into the low 130s, a bit closer to the top half of the field. To the line, the Williams driver. Into the 130s, a 130.3, just ahead of his teammate, and P12. Vinny finding some time now. He's found 6/10. I missed the Spark Hashira going P2. We'll hop to him real quick, get some screen time. He's in the 128.7, so he joins that club. Echo Alex still on an outlap. He actually has someone just behind. It's actually Vinny, who we're going to now. See, Vinny will have a bit of a tow. He gets into the 129s, actually, just ahead of Spot Up and into the 4th row of the grid. In 1 second, let me see if I can get Tours in here. Do I have him? Did I miss it? I guess I don't have him. I thought I did. Let's see, where else are we? So Spot Up moves to P6. He was behind Vinny, and he's into the... Wow, just misses P5 as well, just by 1,000th of a second. Very, very close there. And Uno Cinco just ahead, so now that's 7,000ths of a second between these 3 drivers as we go into the final 4 minutes of the session. Let's hop over to Echo real quick, and he has invalidated. Gonna get ready for another run. Hopefully has the fuel for it. Come back around to him. Times for the top 10 in Midweek 1 are 127.6 for first and 128.2 for 10th. So that's about right. Typically in Tier 2, we'll have some guys that have some quality pace that might contend for 6th or 7th in Tier 1, and then it kind of falls off after that. Looking at it now. They have about 3 minutes left, and it's Corey at the top of the field right now. That's a fun battle going on in Tier 1 as well. 3 minutes left, and drivers are prepping for their final runs. Game says purple sector 2 for Echo Alex. Could be contending with his... There we go. Tours is in. Contending with his fellow Alex at the top of the field. Something we see often. And it's good for Alex/Eddie to be showing this pace in qualifying. I believe it was an assist drop or maybe a line thing, but Echo pips him 128.3 and takes provisional pole. Let's see if Alex F1 will have a chance to respond in the V-car. Still in the pit lane, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's see. Be gone, bot. So validated there. Spot up on the out lap. Trying to get the colors right. That might be Pixel Knight. Yes, Pixel Knight up to P8 to 129.6. Let's see. Car's getting out of the way. Rusty comes in, did not find any improvement. That'll be it for him. He will settle for the 129.141. Gold Killer has found 3/10. That could be a front row. Could be fighting for this P2 position if he has a good final sector. His final lap for Gold Killer. All the way to the inside. Almost cuts it. 128.3, and that's good enough for P2, but he just misses out on provisional pole. Inside 0.02 of a second. And he's not going to have a chance to get back around and put up an even better time. So great lap there from Gold Killer, but comes up just short. Spark starting a lap. Is Eddie going to get there? Having the constant yellow, so I don't know how much time is left in the session. 25 seconds left, so they will have a chance to get across the line and start their lap. Now to keep up with who is on Flyer. Spark has found 2/10 through Sector 1. Eddie whipping through the first sector. Tough corner here, but it's flawless, actually. Maybe a little bit of a wobble as he heads through to the sector line. It's not a good sector as time runs out. He is 3.5 up. Spark, 10th down, and Uno Cinco was on for improvement, perhaps, or maybe found improvement, but is off, so maybe just pulling out of the way. Let's see, Spot Up. He's going to come to the sector line real soon. Just needs an improvement, and he's not quite there. Pretty even, actually. He needs a good third sector to get past Rusty and possibly Uno Cinco. And Spark Hashira, provisional pole, 128.1. Excellent lap. Gold Killer calls it. See, he put up that awesome lap, but just not enough to get to Echo. But it's all going to come down to Eddie Fuentes, or Alex F1. He's currently P4. How was that final sector? How was the final sector? Can he get there? 128.8 is no improvement. He will start P4 at best. A couple of other improvements throughout the field. Let's see, is Ruin Rogue going to be able to find some time here in the final sector? He was down a little bit, and he will stay down just a little bit. Fix Fox unable. To put down a time, and this is going to be your starting lineup, your starting grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for PRL. Pole for Midweek 1 was a 127.3. I'm actually going to take a look at that real quick. Yep, it's Corey. Got the pole ahead of Furzy, Gibby, Gord. A lot of 127s in that one. Slowest times were in the 130s, and still pretty good 130s. So. But for the second tier, Spark Kashira puts together quite a good lap to get pole position. Echo Alex will start alongside him. Gold Killer, a really good lap as well, but we'll start P3. Eddie Fuentes, Alex F1, P4. Spot Up Triples rounds out the top 5. There's Uno Cinco and Rusty Oil Can 6th and 7th. Pickle Tickle a second off at 8th. Vinny Sips and Pixel Knight. Disgruntled Muppet, Tours, Turner, Cac Supreme, Glucose, I'm Goofy, Ruin Rogue, Tar Heels, and Dix Fox rounds out your 19 car field. See if there's any surprises. Still very close at the top of Tier 1. Wow. Top 7 within 3/10 of each other, actually. Very, very tight in Midweek Tier 1 right now. Makes it for some very good qualifying sessions, possibly some frustrating racing for guys that have been at the top of Midweek for so long, and now it's so tight in Midweek 1. I am imagining a one-stop. Spark says it's his first pole position in any league he's ever been in. So congratulations, Spark. That was I didn't catch the end of it, but it could tell you were on for a really good lap pretty early on. So great lap. And he's starting from pole for the first time in a league race, he says. May have an early ready up here. And Tar Heel says he may have impeded Uno Cinco. So that may have explained why he was off in turn 1. So a bit of a premature formation lap, but we're getting underway here. So some change. No, I want to see tire. Here we go. A bunch of mediums. Tar Heels on the hard. I don't know if that's everyone making that decision or perhaps being boxed into that decision. But medium hard works here. It's been a while since I've raced here, but I feel like the soft comes into play occasionally. Like you can run the mediums pretty long and hop on the softs at the end. Said he joined. I don't think... It might have been his other account. The Spark and Echo and Gold Killer flying through the formation lap. Possibly some technical issues for Alex F1. So the grid pulls, well, all the drivers pull back to the grid. The game says medium hard or medium hard. I think the softs could come into play. Possibly a different, maybe in a different game that they came into play, but I don't think Eddie's going to make it back for this one, for the start at least. All right. The lights coming on with a bit of a hiccup, and the lights are out, and we are underway from Jeddah. Tight into turn 1, you see a bit of chaos behind. So we head down towards turn 3, side by side into turn 3. It's always very tricky here. The Aston Martin and Mercedes get together. They're both going to lose positions. That was Gold Killer and Spark, our pole sitter, getting together. Gold Killer really struggling to get back on the track now. There's a bunch of movements. Spot Up having issues. P19. Eddie has already gained picked up a 10-second penalty, and Echo has disappeared already. Started P2, 2.5 seconds up the road due to, in part, to some chaos at the front. Pickle Tickle up to P3. Spark got tangled up with Gold Killer. Eddie picked up a penalty, and we are just 2/3 of the way through the first lap. Gold Killer getting around the outside of Eddie, who is back, it appears. That would really suck if he wasn't back. And still pick up a 10-second penalty. Not a great lap for Spark, who's coming off his first league pole. But a great first lap for Echo Alex in the Ferrari. He's already about 2 3/4 of a second clear of Rusty in P2. I'm Goofy into the pit lane. Perhaps to repair some damage. Let's see. Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Did we just lose a couple of guys? Dix Fox is disconnected. Oh, here we go. Eddie, Gold Killer must have had a really bad sequence as he is plummeting through the field now. He was 5th, he is 7th, 8th with Ruben Rogue around the outside of the very long hairpin and a bunch of cars just behind. Threatening. Trying to cover it off here into this braking zone. Cuts, yeah, too deep. And he will continue to tumble. We've got a yellow. Yeah, I don't see damage. Ruin Rogue now up 10 spots here, and we are not quite through 2 laps. What a start for the Red Bull driver. Making up for the 13 positions lost for Spot Up. Must have got in trouble very early on. We saw him off track. We're going to have quite the run on Ruin Rogue. We see Pixel and Vinny behind, and really just a ton of cars behind. Is that Gold Killer heading into the pit lane? No. Pixel gets to the outside as Ruin goes defensive. Whew. Cutting across there, the Williams, and a bit of movement behind. Turn 1 is always very tricky here. Hard to get the correct vantage. Ooh, that happens, and we've got cars around. That's Ruin Rogue into the wall and spun. We saw Disgruntled cut turn 3 and probably pick up some damage. That has happened quite a few times here in league races in PRL. It is chaotic here in the midfield. We're sticking it out as Echo is kind of running away at the front of the field, but ton of action here in the midfield. We're watching Tours. His teammate Gold Killer behind, and Vinny sips. Let's see if they're going to make it through. Killer gets ahead. I think Vinny has to take a bit of a shortcut, and he's going to lose some spots getting back onto the track. He's down to 12th. Good aerial view here. The Aston Martins together in 8th and 9th. Gold Killer. Whew. Oh, a lot of movement here. That's going to be Cac trying to go to the inside. It's 3 wide. They split, and the Aston Martins are going to collide as Cac did not quite give enough room to the car in the middle. The Astons just clip each other, but come out okay. Gold Killer settling in. We're having quite the battle here for 8th place here on lap 4 of 25. Turner to the outside using DRS. A lot of curb there on the inside, trying to kind of switch them up, and they're... Yeah, I made it cut the track a little bit. Good move by Turner to get to P9, and Tours holding off. Man, drivers will have problems with turn 3. I like to call it, Gord, if you're listening, that's the fraud sauce corner. He's not the only one to have trouble in that corner, as Tours has a rough go with that curb. I think there was a Sunday race where a bunch of front runners just turn in too early into turn 3 here and just clip the wall. And worst case scenario, you shear off your tire and end your race. Happened to Gord, has happened to LaRodri, it has happened to Ramsey, I believe. So gives drivers fits around here. Gold Killer trying to make his way back through the field. Spot Up making his way back through the field. He's up to 14th now after dropping to last in the early going. That was him getting by Glucose, who is under investigation after the race for an early ready-up, perhaps. I believe Eddie just got past Spark. Yep, for P3. So Eddie trying to get back through the field. He's got that penalty attached, unfortunately. These two are the closest at the front of the field. And who was that? There we go. Turner. Outside to the inside. Have we lost the Pickle Tickle? Whew, not a great line there, trying to hold him off. So watch Cack, who's just behind it. He has damage. You can see the Williams missing an end plate. Gold Killer running a bit wide. That curve, it's like a rail grind, skateboarding. Like you catch it and the floor just, there's no escape. Pickle Tickle still maybe having some connection issues and dropping a bit. Turner takes advantage of that. Takes P7. Eddie approaching Rusty for P2. He's right on the rear, at least on track. See the track map here. The top 4 have checked out. It's 8.5 seconds back to Uno Cinco in 5th from Spark. And then the midfield just attached. Eddie's going to get around the outside as Pickle Tickle is able to return and take P2. So started P4, has that 10-second penalty, but is P2 on track. Maybe get a little bit of separation between him, Rusty, and Spark. Again, some movement here into turn 1. That's Cack and Gold Killer going at it. There had just been a DRS overtake. Ooh, big moment there from Cack, but he keeps it out of the wall and he keeps it out of his competitor's side pod. Gold Killer will take the position for the time being. But a little bit of a snap there from the Williams, who is lacking on downforce with the wing damage. Yeah, and you really need the downforce around here with all of the high-speed corners. It is a nightmare otherwise. Pickle Tickle back in. He was up in like 6th place for a bit, but some connection issues have dropped him right into the teeth of the midfield. He's 11th. Spot Up Triples up to 12th, just behind him. He had got past Vinny. Echo pulling away with this one. Actually, let me... got the Midweek 1 open on my phone, but let me go back to the chat for this one. Can't see it on my phone, unfortunately. Pickle Tickle, oh, what was going on here? So Rusty and Spark getting by. That was basically the end of Sector 1. So Spark up into P3. He was on pole position. Gets by Rusty. So a long way back to Uno Cinco. Pixel Knight hanging out in P6. He started 10th. And Gold Killer having some issues with track limits, it seems. I kind of like that one, actually. Penalties, here we go. So Gold Killer at 6 seconds, Cac at 3, I'm Goofy at 3, and Eddie with that 10-second. But Gold Killer not quite getting to the back of the Ferrari. So he heads to the third DRS zone of the lap. All over the back, so he gets to the inside. Good aerial shot here, and he moves to P7 on track. Yep, Eddie's starting to pull away a little bit. We have Gibby. Welcome, Gibby. You might be in the wrong one. Aren't you in, there we go. I was like, wait a second, you're in Tier 1. Speaking of Tier 1, let me see if I can bring a Tier 1 update. I can't see who is leading. But Corey in P2, he was the pole sitter over there. Gold Killer came in to put on new tires, it seems. He is on mediums. Whoa. There we go. Welcome back to Xbox. Saw that you're having some issues, and that's what we saw. Someone go through your ghost. Still hanging out in P17. Goofy, Cac Supreme, both in the pit lane. Oh, running wide there. So let's go to tires just to see who's come in. Safety car is out for the midweek Tier 1. See a bit of a shuffle here. They're on lap 6. Spot Up and Pickle Tickle wheel to wheel in the final corner. Side by side. Who's going to have the DRS here? It's going to be Spot Up, but a good placement there by Pickle Tickle. Spot Up to the inside. Can they outbrake without any collisions? Tough corner to go side by side through, and he has to give up the position here. Whoa. You can only fight back so hard, is really the thing. We'll go to Ruin Rogue and Gold Killer, and we just missed a possible corner cutting for Ruin Rogue. He has to give the position back to Gold Killer, but unfortunately gets the 10 seconds anyway. That'll be frustrating to deal with. Echo chilling out front still. 9.2 seconds. Eddie trying to create some separation between him, Spark, Rusty. I think Eddie's probably P4 on the timing sheet now. Gold Killer. Let's see if I hop to him real quick. He's had a lot of screen time. Got shuffled back into the midfield, but is trying to fight his way back through. Made a pit stop, sent him even further back, but now is on the fresh rubber. Though I'm pretty sure he has to two-stop it now. He'll be on the medium hard. Or medium soft. Pixel Knight enters the pit lane. He has gone 9 laps on the mediums. He's going to ditch him for the hard tire, I believe. There'll be some other takers here as we go on to lap 10. That's Glucose, his teammate, also in the pit lane. Let's see if they get held up, but no. Pretty good double stack, actually. Both the Alpines ditching their tires. Oh, yes. I absolutely can. Let me see if I have... I don't know if I have Fox. Can I read is the issue. Tar Heels, there might be a... oh, Doy, right here. We'll get you back in. I do not have Fox, though I think he was back in, wasn't he? Yes. I didn't realize you had dropped Tar Heels. I'm so sorry. I hope you haven't been gone for too long. So that's the Sauber driver who had started on the hards, was the only driver to start on the hards. Back in action now. We got the Ferrari of Turner into the pits, and yeah, a lot more takers this time around after 10 laps. So Uno Cinco is in. Turner is in. Gold Killer sets the fastest lap of the race. A double stack for McLaren as the Pickle Tickle follows his teammate into the pit lane. Vinny Sips is in. Disgruntled Muppet is in. So a lot more takers. And we got a car around. Who is it? Was that Eddie? I think it was. Eddie was in P2 and now is P4. So had gone off perhaps in the hairpin at the far end of the course. Send it back to P4. Still a long way back to P5 right now with the shuffle of pit stops. Spot Up is actually up into P5 for the time being. Aston Martin's, I don't think intentionally swapping positions, might have been DRS assisted. That's Gold Killer on the charge on the new tires, passing his teammate Tours, who still needs to stop. So kind of a big undercut for Gold Killer, but I believe he has to stop again. 3 of the leaders come in. Echo, the leader of the race, stays out, but Spark, Rusty, and Eddie are all... their pit crews are involved in hand-to-hand combat. Direct competition. No big issues for any of them. Spark, Rusty come out in the same positions, but Eddie is jumped by Gold Killer. So Gold Killer undercutting. Uno Cinco will actually get by as well. Pixel Knight, and I believe that's Eddie coming out just behind Pixel Knight. Slots right into P7. So a bit of an undercut here, but I think a lot of these guys still need to pit a second time as they're on the medium tire again, and you have to have 2 different compounds. Perhaps another safety car in midweek 1. I can't even see who's leading. A lot going on in that one, but a very busy race here in the midfield in midweek tier 2. Yeah, Gold Killer still on the charge. Oh, we've lost a road rogue, but I believe it's in the pit lane. So that may have been the yellow that we saw in sector 2, but just bringing it back to the pit lane and calling it. He was up a lot of positions in the early going, but perhaps just kind of coming undone for him. Solid stop for Ferrari, it appears. Echo onto the hard, split the race in half, and should come out still a long way ahead of his competitors. It's been a lot of that last few rounds, just kind of walking away with it. Eddie getting by Pixel Knight, DRS assisted. Getting back into P6, I guess the spin has really cost him as he was in second and now with all the pit stops down to P6. So Knight just behind. He's having a good race. He is one of the drivers that has gone medium, so we'll need a different compound. Could be the soft for his final stint of the race. Only driver yet to pit is Tar Heel, so we'll be trying to go into the back half of this race. We're on board with him now. Bad corner for Glucose ahead, it looks like. Yeah, this trio here, Glucose, Tar Heels, Vinny. That's 13, 14, 15 in the running order. Vinny might get to the inside of Tar Heels. There's going to be some overlap. Tar Heels will have the inside line, but it looks like Vinny will take the long way around. And maybe a bit of a wobble there from both of them. Tough corner to go side by side through. Vinny takes the position. Tar Heels on those older tires now. Gold Killer finishing his second stint, so he's almost certainly going to go to the hards now. Yep. Will do. Lap 14. So very aggressive medium stints from the Aston Martin driver. He's had a lot of screen time, like I mentioned earlier, but a very eventful race for him. He comes into P10 as he comes out of the pit lane. See if I can go to my... I'm trying to go to my timing app here, see if we can get some of the lap times. Just to see how everyone's running here in the middle stages of this race. Oh, good battle here, but a bit of a squeeze perhaps. Tours gets around the outside of CAC Supreme into the hairpin. That's such a fun corner. Plenty of overtaking opportunity there. Go around the outside, get a run on the inside. A lot of different lines through there. And we see an overtake for P11. Echo on fresh, hard tires. Fastest lap of the race, a 1:30.6. That's 2 seconds faster than those behind him. Oh, wow, yep. Gets him up at just the time. Go around the outside of Tar Heels. Tar Heels still on those old tires. DRS helps. And to scrun him up, it will move to 15th. We had a move here. It's Pixel Knight and Turner going at it here. Pixel Knight on the medium tire, but a little bit older than that hard. It's like the Ferrari may have got around him initially, but Pixel Knight holding on to P6. This has brought Spot Up and Pickle Tickle a little bit closer into the picture. Yeah, they were between a second and 2 seconds slower than Spot Up and Pickle Tickle, this pair, last lap. Tar Heels into the pit lane, we saw, to put on that required second compound, which would be the medium tire. Great run out of the corner, and with DRS, the Ferrari is going to blow by the Alpine for P6. Can Spot Up make it a second? He can. I tried to move to him as he changed positions, so that didn't work at all. So Pixel Knight getting double overtaken here. He's in the middle of this train of 6th to 10th. A lot of movement here as everyone jockeying for position. A bit too deep from the Aston Martin, and he gets into the back of Pixel Knight. So that was Gold Killer into the back of the Alpine. Back out, do not go side by side, and it's just kind of been a rough lap around the circuit for Pixel Knight as he's gone 6th to 9th. Ran it to the back of Sir. Damage to the Aston Martin. Yep, missing an end plate. It's going to be a bit too aggressive, trying to be aggressive here in the late stages on new tires, and just got into the back of it, maybe just misjudged it. So that'll break this group apart a little bit, and it'll leave Spot Up triples at the front of this 5-car train that has started to disconnect. Spot Up, I think, won Driver of the Day last week. Uh-oh. We lose? I think we lost him. One driver of the day last week for his big improvement after an early incident, and it might happen again this week as he is looking at the back of P5. That's Unosinko. Dropped to 19th after just 2 corners and put up nearly his best lap of the race there with some DRS help. Pixel Knight into the pit lane. He had to make that second stop. That's right. So he goes medium, medium, hard. Surprising that the softs have not come into play here. Dix Fox on the softs. The rear of the field, trying to catch I'm Goofy, who I believe is just dropped. I know I do not have them, though. Will not be able to re-add. Cac Supreme will put on the softs. So we'll come into play here. Going aggressive. Williams driver in 14th. Has a long way to go to catch P13. I'm Goofy comes in. He has the hards. He is putting on mediums. I know we got some other stops here. That's Fox. No one uses softs in a race. That's sad to me. It must have been, I must be thinking of last year's game then, because the hard, even the medium to soft, was a viable strategy around Jeddah. And I must have been F1 2024. I really haven't driven in this game a lot, so. It was a bit of a sleeper strategy, actually. Spada getting around Unosinko to P5 with some DRS. Hell of a drive. I agree, Baggins. Hell of a drive from Spada up right now. Bringing it all the way back to P5. May have to go a bit defensive from here on out. Don't know if he's going to have enough in the tank to catch Eddie. Turner just behind Unosinko now. He's trying to make it a twofer. And Spada disappearing, actually, in this first sector. 1.5 seconds clear already. Side by side into that hairpin. I say hairpin. It's not slow speed, but maybe it's more of a spoon than anything. And side by side into the heavy braking zone. Maybe a bit forced off there. The Ferrari not being able to stay on the track. Ooh, and Biggs gets swallowed up here. 4 cars all at the close proximity. And is there damage to this Ferrari? Is he slowing? I believe so. So we saw him slow down and just 3 cars fly around the outside of the Ferrari of Turner. That puts Gold Killer P6 on track. Pickle Tickle, Unosinko, and Turner just behind. So still quite involved. I believe I have a car around. Unfortunately, that's Muppet. At the hairpin, far into the course. See if I get there. Trying to get it going again. And has some wing damage. So I called out a strong qualifying performance from Muppet, but the race has not gone according to plan. Back to the action around P7. A spot of getting clear of this mess. Holding on to P5. The McLaren's in a bit of a tango here for P7 on track. It should move to P6 with the time penalty. Yep, on the timing sheet, good call, Baggins. It was Eddie/Alex at a 132.4, catching Rusty, who ran a 134.0 last time. So it might just be not enough laps for the V-Carb driver, but he is certainly moving quicker right now than the Sauber. DRS here, but not enough for Unosinko to get by his teammate. Turner remains behind them. A bit more spread out in the bottom half of the field. Don't think the... well, I guess Glucose came in, so actually Cat getting a position from that. So Glucose down to 14. Putting on the mediums to finish the race. Quite spread out here in the back half. So really the only battle here, you're at 20 laps down, or on the 20th lap of 25. More penalties for Gold Killer come in. Let's go to Turner here. Let's see if we can get a good onboard. Not a lot of momentum through the corner there, I don't believe. So had to get the car slowed down on entry. I think it cost him. Oh, it clips the wall trying to turn in. We do have a yellow. I believe it's Cac who has gone around. That's turn 3 as well. The ever dangerous turn 3. Like Turner having some great runs out of that corner. It could be corner 20, it could be 23, who knows. 25. But not enough to take advantage of the DRS. We'll have it again here, but so will his opponent ahead. Let's see if Uno Cinco catches his teammate. Pickle parks it in the middle, and no moves are made here into turn 1. Let's see. Penalties. Gold Killer, that 9 seconds is certainly going to come into play. Could drop into like P10 at this point. We'll keep an eye on that. So this battle that we're watching, oh, Turner picks up 3 seconds for the multiple warnings on track limits. So probably between the McLarens now for P6. All in all, still not a bad race for Gold Killer. Picking up damage, just maybe a bit aggressive in the late stages. Have cost him. Went aggressive on strategy, admirable. Certainly has a ton of pace. Showed that in qualifying. He sits P6 on track for now. Eddie, a second faster. And oh, we have a DNF. And that's going to bring out a virtual safety car here in the very late stages. Lap 21. Let's see if we can see what happened. Oh, Cac loses it through, I believe that's turn 4 or 5. Just a tricky section, sector 1, this kind of back half. And Cac unfortunately loses the car and puts it rear wing first into the wall. So the VSC remains out for now. Saying Eddie was catching Rusty by about a second, and now it's changed to just 0.3 of a second the previous lap. Is there a shuffle there? May have been missed. Waiting to go green. As our magical marshals clear the Williams from the racing surface. Looks like everyone's starting to speed up a touch. Trying to anticipate the green flag. Severe collision with Echo Alex for Dix Fox. Oh, he is facing the wrong way. And it's going to be difficult to spin this thing around. He's got some room. Oh, but these cars do not turn. And it will be ghosted. Thank God. A very unfortunate incident there. And very unfortunate for Pickle Tickle, who has got 13 seconds of penalties in the moments that I was watching Fox try to get the car turned around. So there was a Corner cut. And a 3-second track limits. Gold Killer gets by Spot Up on track. That's not going to stand on the timing sheet, but reeled him in there. And Fox calls it a day in the pit lane, understandably. He will be credited with P17. Man, that really hurts Pickle Tickle. And his teammate in the McLaren has also dropped a bit of time. And it's going to cost him. He's not going to be able to get by Gold Killer, I don't think, on the timing sheet now. So, certainly something to keep an eye on. Here in the final 3 laps of this race. Is Echo dealing with damage from that incident? Doesn't appear so, but he is losing time to Spark. It's about 5 seconds now. As Echo comes to the line for the start the penultimate lap. There we go. So nothing crazy in the podium positions, bearing something, well, crazy. Pickle Tickle trying to hold off Turner here. Nose to tail. But really, if you're the Ferrari driver, you just wait it out and let that position come to you. And really, maybe just ride the slipstream. Hope you can get the toe away from Uno Cinco and keep that position on the timing sheet. This might be the only battle, really. Here on lap 24 of 25. We will have to give Turner's teammate his due, as Echo has walked away with it, even after not getting pole position. So P2 start. Ends up in the lead very quickly, with quite the lead, actually, in the early stages. Hashira getting on track for a solid podium after his pole position. He's emerged as one to watch here in this tier, as we are on the final lap of this race. One more time around the Jeddah Corniche circuit for Echo Alex and his competitors. And Rusty, another strong performance from him. Keeping it steady, hanging in P3. Turner will get by Pickle Tickle as they head to the line to start the final lap. DRS open for the McLaren, though. The Ferrari will have the position on the timing page, but just trying to get a little bit further from Tours, and now Uno Cinco and Tours. Big overtake there by Tours, at least for Turner. Trying to slow down that McLaren, or that's what he's hoping, at least, the Ferrari driver. Some of the leaders having to weave through lap traffic. So you're saying Spark got load cells? That's sweet. There we go. Bring some consistency now. Echo starting the final sector of the race. And speaking of consistency and finding a new gear, Echo Alex in his return for the last season or two has been just short of dominant. Just a force to be reckoned with here in Midweek and Midweek 2. And he's going to bring it around for yet another victory. Echo Alex is your winner around Jeddah. Spark Kashira, congrats on the P2. Quite the podium. And Rusty Olcan will complete the podium P3. Eddie Fuentes P4. And Spot Up Triples P5 on track. And there's a clipping there. What happened? Bit of a clip alongside, but Spot Up's going to hold on to P5 with a lot of help from the time penalty as well. Gold Killer is P6 for now. And I think they're going to get it. So it's a bit of a ways back to Turner. And then Tours will get P8. Uno Cinco will get P8. Tours and Pixel Knight, once all the penalties have sifted out. Yeah, rough one for the Pickle Tickle with those 13 seconds just appearing just like that. I think Echo is pretty much the benchmark. There's always going to be somebody at the top of Tier 2 that could be in Tier 1. And Tier 1 is crazy right now. So there's always going to be a driver or two. But I think, for the most part, the admins did a great job with divvying up the tiers. Between the Alexes at the top of Tier 2 and a very close Tier 1, who has not finished quite yet, I'll stay on and give a little bit of radio play-by-play for that. Another strong win for Echo Alex and an all-American podium. Let's see. Race winner and fastest lap, Echo Alex. Driver of the day is Gold Killer. I mean, he had a lot of screen time, if that's how you want to judge it. And most overtakes, also to Gold Killer. And cleanest driver, Spark Kashira. Just a great race from him overall. Our final results, Echo Alex from P2 on the grid takes the win. Spark Kashira from pole is second. Rusty rounds out the podium. Eddie Fuentes, P4. That's Alex F1. Spot up triples. What a race for him. Starting 5th, finishing 5th, but it was a lot busier than that. Great race from Spot Up. Gold Killer, P6. Turner is 7th. Uno Cinco 8th. Tours 9th. Pixel Knight 10th. Vinny Sips is 11th. Pickle Tickle, penalties really hurt him. He drops to 12th. Glucose 13th. Tar Heels 14th. Just run him up at 15th. I'm Goofy 16th. And then some DNFs of Dix Fox, Tax Supreme, and Ruin Rogue. 19 car field, very busy race here in Midweek Tier 2, Round 10. Let me see if I can get the race director real quick, just in case someone needs it. A lot of track limits, a lot of contact. A lot of corner cutting. But that's Jeddah for you. Yeah, we're going to hang out just a little bit longer, and I'll give you an update on Midweek Tier 1 if you haven't been able to tune in. They were on lap 23 of 25. They're under safety car conditions. Uh, 18 cars in the field. Airborne Tiger leads the field behind the safety car. It's Corey is P2, but has the penalty. Avsfan is 3rd. Furzy, who is our championship leader, I believe, and T. Stiggy, who is P2 in the championship. Then there's Balzerga, Kobe Plays, Brian B., Heavy Chalice, and Andy Wu in the top 10. Then Timgra, Kitten Petter, Spin and Win, and Gibby, who's, I guess, trying to recover after a pit stop. The safety car in this lap for a 2-lap shootout around Jeddah. Ghost Viper has DNF'd to bring out the safety car. Gortsauce has DNF'd. JDJ has DNF'd. And Lord Pax, Lords and Rab, has also DNF'd. Thank you, Jules. Glad to have you. If you want to stick around for a little bit, I'll do the radio for Midweek Tier 1. Gordsauce is streaming that. That's who I'm watching. And the Alpine of Airborne Tiger leads the field back to green 2 more times around. Getting some bonus content here. Have some movement as Balzerga and Kobe Plays battle for P6. Airborne Tiger trying to hold off its Corey, and Corey trying to hold off Avsfan into turn 3. Very tight corner, as we've seen. And Kobe gets by T. Stiggy for P5. It says safety car again? I don't think they're actually under safety car. I think this game is just dumb sometimes. A lot of movement in P3 and P6 as they're fighting for position as they go into that long hairpin at the end of the course. High speeds, Heavy Chalice moving up a spot against Andy Wu. And Brian B has already found a couple positions since the restart. He's up to P5. He, I believe, restarted P8. Kobe and Avsfan side by side. The Haas and Mercedes as they head to that DRS zone on the back straight. Into that heavy braking zone, side by side, doesn't work, and Kobe Place comes out ahead. He moves into P3. That could be P2 on the timing sheet. Corey dealing with that penalty. Airborne Tiger in control, though, as they head to the final corner of the penultimate lap. That's the Alpine leading the field back to the line. They take the white flag. Final lap here, Jeddah, midweek, tier 1. Corey trying to hold off Kobe. It's tucked in. I think Kobe goes to the inside. Out of view for me, but he gets the position. Emerges P2 on track, and Corey dropping more spots. Brian B moving into P3. He's also dealing with a penalty. I don't know how much that is. Kobe all over the back of Airborne Tiger as they go through Sector 1. He is attached to the rear wing of the Alpine. That's that gorgeous Haas all over the rear as they head down to the far end of the course. To the inside, the Haas to the inside of the hairpin. He gets that line and takes the lead. Airborne Tiger already on the defensive with Brian B and the Red Bull just behind. But he's got to keep his eyes forward, eyes on the prize for the victory. It's these three with Brian dealing with the penalty. Down the back straight of the course, which is that winding DRS zone. It's already a half second between Kobe and Airborne. So Kobe on the charge on the restart. I didn't get to see what his tires were like or anything like that, but he has charged through the field in 2 laps. Oh, collision. Airborne into the back of the Haas. Gets to the inside. There's more colliding into the final corner. The Alpine with damage. Kobe is ahead. Brian moves to second. Is he going to hold him off? A bit of wheel banging, and at the line, Kobe has the win. He would have had the win anyway with the time penalty. Oh my goodness, what a finish. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to see it, but I hope I was able to convey that for y'all. I hope I was able to convey the excitement that was happening on the circuit for midweek tier 1. Telling you, bonus content only here on the PRL channel, folks. Kobe plays. What a restart. What a 2-lap shootout. Did get a little iffy there at the end. I think just maybe a touch too aggressive going for the win. Some damage to the cars. But the Haas driver emerges victorious. That's Kobe, Airborne, Balzerga, Avsfan, Furzy, top 5. Brian B is 6th. T. Stiggy, Chalice, Corey, Andy Wu, 10th. Timgra, Kittenpetter, Spin and Win, Gibby, down to 14th, and then that's all I got to see. I think everyone else was a DNF. So, there you go. You get a little bit of everything here. Awesome midfield battle for midweek tier 2. Awesome battle for the win in midweek tier 1. And it's really unfortunate that I don't get to bring you guys this kind of action every week, but I do it when I can, and I'm glad you guys all appreciate it. I've been Hoop BK. Please stay tuned for some of our Sunday races, trying to get a couple more of those down, and stay tuned for when we can bring you the Wednesdays. Thanks again, and have a good night.